Hello everyone, my name is Nicole Kovar. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about how music teachers are needed more than ever before. Year 2026 is the year where everything has just lined up so perfectly, where music teachers are in demand more than ever before. And I'm going to share 5 reasons and completely convince you, hopefully by the end of the video, on why that is. One of the most awesome parts of being a music teacher in 2026 is that you can really diversify your sources of income. So before, if you were a music teacher, you would either, teach in a public school or in a university, or you would do private teaching. But today you can literally, there's so many channels to pick from. You can do group classes now. You can do communities online. You can do YouTube videos. You can do online courses. You can have online students and teach online. You can do like asynchronous teaching. And the list honestly just keeps going. So now you can have just multiple forms of income that are in the same area and really just diversify your revenue streams. But let's face it, there's really nothing better than private teaching. Like, there's no stronger impact that you're going to make in one individual's life. And it's also very rewarding for you as the teacher because you make such a deep connection and such a great impact, a positive impact in somebody else. Private teaching is still the cream of the crop, it's the gold standard. There's really no better way. Nothing can really replace private education and private lessons. And honestly, this is still one of the most desired ways to learn. It's still one of the most highest income generating avenues. And also for the student side, one of the best ways to learn is directly one-on-one versus in a group or classroom setting. So in this video, my 5 points is really going to be specific to private teaching as a music educator. So let's dive in. So with AI, everything is changing. That's my first point, is AI is really setting up the landscape where music teachers are going to be in more demand than ever before. Now the tables are actually turning, and having an arts degree is going to give you a very powerful edge and a creative edge to the marketplace. AI is kind of leveling out those top, very prestigious degrees that have been known for decades: law, doctors, healthcare, engineering. It's actually leveling out those playing fields because a lot of those occupations are based around not only skill, but knowledge. And a lot of that knowledge has been gatekept and really hard to access for a long time. But with AI and learning language models, we now have access to some really amazing information within a matter of seconds. And every single year, I don't know if you've noticed, but there's like an AI for everything now. There's AI for lawyers, where they can keep all of their information confidential. There's AI for engineering and this vibe coding, where literally there are businesses that are cutting like their engineering staff in half because these AI models are just able to replace 10 plus engineers in just a couple of weeks. I mean, take a look at Replit and how it is completely changing the way people think about apps and software now. I mean, these companies are rapidly increased in evaluations, and at the same time, they're not really growing their teams, but they're keeping them small, downsizing them even. So when so many people now have access to all this information and skill through AI, how are you going to be different from your competitor? How are you going to stand out, and what's going to make you different from everybody else? What can AI not touch? And that's your creativity. That's the arts. That's thinking outside the box. That's communication and social skills, something that can be really developed through the arts. And we're starting to hear this from people that are in the tech space now. Like, for example, Eric Branner, he is the co-founder of a music studio software, but he also is a musician, and he also has had a music school. I believe he doesn't have it anymore. But he also has this podcast that I've been listening to. And something that he talks about is how his circles, which a lot of them are like tech startups and founders, and he's on the West Coast, so he's mingling with a lot of these tech startups and founders. And what he's seeing is that they are actually seeking out people that do have some kind of arts background. They want that blend. They aren't just looking just for straight up engineers anymore. And another remarkable example is Snapchat CEO Evan Spielberg. I was actually listening to him on a podcast as well, and he was mentioning how when he first started Snapchat, Everybody on that founding team was a musician. And he pointed out that because the team was so creative and they thought outside the box, they had an edge in their innovations. And they were able to take on these monster competitors like Meta, which was generating, I believe, billions of dollars even at that time when he just was getting started. And yet he is successful. Snapchat still remains one of the most widely used social media tools. He actually prioritized creativity as one of the business's top core values. And that's what people are realizing now, is that being creative, being artistic, this is what gives you the advantage among everybody else. This is how you win the contracts over your competitors. So now moving on to my second point on why being a music teacher in 2026 is one of the best times to be a music teacher. And that's because music is popular for some of the biggest trends going on right now. We already talked about being creative and having that edge in a very competitive workspace. But some other benefits that music gives you is just learning how to understand who you are as a human being and understand your emotions and being able to self-regulate those emotions and also release them, being able to process them. Like when I pick up my guitar, when I sing a song in the car, in the shower, or on my guitar, when I play a classical piece, it does put me in this meditative state. It really forces me to focus on what's happening inside me at that moment. And I get to process those emotions. I get to release those into the earth, and I feel so much better after that. So playing an instrument, it's a form of mental health regulation and maintenance. And this is something that is huge right now. I mean, I was watching Shark Tank the other day, and there was this girl that came on, and her company was called See the Way I See. And she just blew the sharks away. She basically started her own mental health awareness brand via hoodies. So hoodies are a huge comfort item, very popular. Almost everybody you know owns a hoodie of some kind. And she built an entire business around mental health awareness on your clothes and really embracing that. And she is also an artist, which I loved. So anyway, this girl, she started the business with $500. She didn't do any kind of paid marketing. She didn't hire a team. She did everything herself. She was a one-woman show, and she created her own designs, and she built $1 million revenue generating company. And that was back in 2023, I think, is when I watched that episode. It's so cute. Like, her designs are amazing, and it's such a cool idea. She just took a little bit of creativity, took something that was really resonating with our time, which is mental health awareness, and then adding that artistic element of design and beauty. She just put that all together, and boom, she has this amazing business that is just working, not with a little effort. I don't want to say that, but with a lot less effort than some of these other businesses that have come on Shark Tank. I mean, even the sharks themselves were saying that they wanted to hire her and, sell her parts of their business because she was doing so well. And that's just proof that if you go with the trends, if you go with what is most needed right now, that you will be successful. And the point is that you need to be in demand. So if you're looking to be a music teacher, look at the trends and see what people really want. What do people really need? And build a framework around that. Some other things that are really needed in today's society and are huge trends are community spaces, social circles. Like, that's really lacking as people are becoming more online. They're starting to lack community. And music is just a natural way to build those relationships, to be an icebreaker between people, and to form connections. It's a good way to start being a part of a community. Yeah, mental health regulation, social connections, and communities. What about longevity? That's huge right now. Everybody's talking about longevity and brain health. And playing the piano, like using both hemispheres at the same time, there's no better activity to build those neurological pathways and to maintain brain health as it is to play an instrument. So there really are so many angles that you can advertise as a music teacher today, where you can capitalize on these trends and really help people where they need it. And now on to my third point on why year 2026 is the best time to be a music teacher. And it really is because there's not a lot of music teachers, especially in the United States. We are really suffering right now from the lack of funding that has basically been minimized in the last couple of decades. Like a lot of the funding was poured into math and sciences, and not everybody grew up even being exposed to music or having music general education classes, which is kind of sad. And so we're really seeing the effects of that today, where music studios are really struggling. They're struggling to find talent. They're struggling to hire teachers. Teachers are in high demand. Like when a piano teacher comes on the market, music studios are basically fighting over them. There really is not enough awesome teachers, especially in the United States. I even know of music studios where part of their strategy to deal with the music teacher shortage is to hire foreigners and to basically employ people from outside the United States and to bring them in via H-1B visas. Like that's what we've come to. That's how bad it is. So it really goes to show that yes, there is a demand for music lessons. There's just not enough teachers, which means the tides are really turning. Like this is the time. It's easier than ever to build a student wait list. And my fourth point to why year 2026 is the best time to be a music teacher is kids need mentorship more than ever. They need to have a positive adult influence in their life. Not only access to an adult, but actually someone that shows up. Like, I mean, really shows up. And nobody shows up better than a private music teacher. We are the ones that come and sit next to them and spend hours with them, right? Sometimes it's 30 minutes, sometimes it's an hour. But over the course of their lifetime, we have built hours and hours and hours of individualized attention on the student. We ask them how their day is. We get to know what friends they have. We get to know their families. We get to know what their interests are and what sets them off. We really get to know them. I mean, when I was teaching, I taught for over 8 years, which means I really got to see some of my students, go from elementary school into high school. And I got to see them kind of grow up into the personalities and the people that they are today. And by the way, it's never too late to start lessons. Like even as adults, you can take lessons. But, as a music studio director, most of our students are children. So that's why I am talking a lot about kids in this point. But really, the same applies to adults. Adults also really benefit from having that individual attention and having somebody that supports them and cares for them and shows up for them every single week. Like imagine having somebody like that in your life that tells you, oh no, you can do it. When you doubt yourself, you're being reminded by somebody that you respect and you trust that actually you can do it. I mean, that's just an amazing, amazing force to have in your life that will change, like literally will change and move you into a more positive direction. But back to kids, like when you look at what it's like to be a child in 2026, they can be a little bit alone. You can see that loneliness is becoming a bigger issue. They don't have a lot of attention from their parents because their parents, they work hard and they come home exhausted. And of course they do their best, but sometimes they don't have the bandwidth to give them individualized attention and to really just pour all this effort into their kids every single day. So when they do have an adult that gives them that, it's golden. It really is so golden. And by the way, it also is one of the most rewarding jobs for you as well, because you can go to work and enjoy it. You go to work knowing that you're making a huge impact, and that is building up so much positive energy in you too. It's just the circle where I help you and you help me, and we're all in this together. And you really do get to benefit off of those feelings and being able to be such a giver, because that's what teaching is you do give and you do pour so much positivity into somebody else. So there really is a huge rewarding aspect to being a private teacher. And by the way, you really do start to see it come full circle when your students come back to you years later and they'll tell you hey, do you remember when you told me this thing? And that really stuck with me. I was just thinking about that the other day and it really just helped me get through the struggle that I was having in my life. And you may not even remember what it was. You're like, oh wow, that was really nice of me to say that. I don't remember saying that, but I'm really glad, but I'm glad I did. Those moments are where you just really get that warmth, that good time feeling. And now my fifth and final reason on why year 2026 is the best time to be a music teacher. And that is really the community piece. Parents and people in general really value community more than ever before. So let's start with parents first. When parents are looking at their children, they want to protect them from, too much screen time, too much social media, and it's a hard battle to win because all their friends are on social media, all the activities, all the assignments, everything is just on the screen nowadays. And we know that too much screen time does cause anxiety and it does hurt your mental health long term. And so we really do want to minimize that. And so parents are seeking activities where we can remove them from the screens. That's what music does, is you don't need any of that. You can completely unplug. All you need is you and your instrument, add in a private teacher, and you're unplugged. It's just you and me right here in this present moment. Also, delayed gratification. This is becoming a bigger issue in the younger generation. They're used to receiving things like instantly, like Amazon, like entertainment on their phones, Wi-Fi, Google Maps, like just having a question, not knowing how to write an essay, like everything can now be done within, seconds to 24 hours. Before, we would have to sit through commercials and, wait patiently for our shows to come on week by week. They weren't dropped like 3-4 episodes at a time or entire seasons at a time. We had to wait patiently for our food. We actually had to leave the house and go to the grocery store or go to the restaurant. Now you have DoorDash that just delivers it right to your door. You have Amazon that delivers everything to your door. Just everything is just so convenient, but it also backfires on you because you forget that real life means that you have to wait and you have to work for the most important things, like learning how to be courageous, learning how to love, learning how to care for other people. Like those are hard things and you can't rush deliver those things. You can't build amazing bonds with people and rush deliver that. And I think that is something that is really a struggle for the new generation. And activities like music, where you really have to sit down and focus, and it's really a reps game. Like I have to repeat and repeat, and I have to be patient for progress. It just reminds you of what hard work is and how valuable it is, and how the more important things in life really are. Like this is the real way to getting them, is you don't get it instantly. It does take time and it does take consistency. Activities like music lessons and playing an instrument, it's just a reminder of that reality. And something that I kind of briefly already touched on is when we zoom out away from just parents and kids and just look at people as a whole, like people are feeling more anxious. They are feeling more alone. They feel separated from society. And it is harder to make friends. And people know that it's important to release your emotions and to express your emotions, but there's really still not a clear way on how to do that. And music is a beautiful vehicle that helps you do that. It does help you process and release those emotions. And so as our society becomes more lonely and feels more anxious, man, music will become more and more in demand. So maybe I've convinced you that 2026 is indeed the best time to be a music teacher, but it also needs to be executed well. Like you can have all the best ideas in the world, but if you don't execute them and with a healthy strategy, then those ideas are going to do nothing for you. And the irony of this video is that music education industry, like if you meet and talk with music teachers today, you'll quickly find out that we are undervaluing our services. And a lot of music teachers actually struggle to make a means and to really have sustainable work. I see that because we are undervaluing ourselves, we continue to struggle as a whole. Maybe you feel this way. Maybe you are already teaching, but you kind of lost that spark because it's a constant struggle. Maybe you didn't really realize the value that you bring to other people. And I hope that this video will truly change your perspective, where you will start this year and move through this world with a completely different aura. I want you to move with a lot more power because what you are giving to the world is so powerful. I hope that you live in this year bigger, bolder, and better. And if you continue living in this mindset for several months, you're going to experience stories and have experiences that you never thought you would have. And I hope you write me about them. With the launch of this channel, it will be amazing if I can help you be more successful. Like that will make everything worth it. Or maybe you haven't started teaching yet, but You really want to. You just don't know how to get started. Well, do me a favor and just share this video. If you like, comment, or share this video with a friend, I will know that this is really something you want to dive into, and I'll be more than happy to create a video on how you can get started as a first-year teacher. So until then, I'll see you in the next video, and don't forget to keep the music going.